that gorgeous bouquet. The bouquet and the boutonniere are from Juniper Designs. Big thanks to them, and Allison did such a great job. Thank you to them. Thank you to everybody who has made this day special. And, you know, I'm so excited because we are a part of this, and it's not just the wedding. We're talking about what happens when you go home. And, of course, Mark Dunham is here to help us out from Francis Tuttle with a newly fed segment. He's going to show us how the couple, guys can kind of cook together. And that's a team project. It's not just Rebecca, right?
Yeah. First of all, I'm glad I stayed over here because I was listening to everything. But if I would have been around the corner, I would have been a bawling baby.
Oh,
that's just
nice, Mark.
Yeah. I'm happy for both of y'all, by the way.
Awesome.
So, how many kids? 5. But okay, so busy house. I've got 3 little girls, so I'm tied up most of the day. So, what I chose to do or show you today is a lot of times pasta, at least when we get out in restaurants, right, is drenched in just traditionally spaghetti sauce or Alfredo sauce, and a lot of times people just need some new hints on how to make a delicious pasta from scratch that's quick and easy, but maybe different from that so you don't get kind of in a rut. All right, so my good friend Chris Becker makes pasta here in Oklahoma City, and he's how I've learned a lot about pasta in general. And so we've got his Delaterra pasta rigatoni, and we've got his spaghetti. So we'll start with the spaghetti dish, which is real simple. We're going to cook the fresh spaghetti in salted boiling water for 5 minutes. It's a little bit different than dry. Dry you cook for 10 minutes, fresh you cook for 5 minutes.
Okay.
You get a pan slightly warm, a little bit of olive oil, or you can use a blend of olive oil and canola oil. And in goes a little bit of garlic, and you're just going to sweat the garlic down just to get the flavor and the aroma of the garlic going. And we're going to go back with a little bit of crushed tomato, and literally when you put the timer on this, you're going to figure out how long this takes, which is not long at all.
Okay.
So in goes the garlic, and that's going to sweat down. In another pan, we're going to go ahead and start the sausage for the rigatoni dish to get that going.
Okay.
And basically, you buy your favorite brand of Italian sausage and make a little patty like this, about a 2 or 3 ounce patty, and just stick it in the pan and let it start browning, and just leave it in this patty form for now, okay? And it'll start browning up a little bit here in a second. And as it browns up, I'm just going to keep that there. As it browns up, we'll break it up. So you can see the garlic starting to soften here. And the key with garlic, with fresh garlic, is to slice it thin so it cooks fairly quickly. If you have big chunks, or if you buy garlic that's processed, it gets kind of oxidized.
Okay.
So that's soft enough. We're going to go in with a little bit of the tomato product.
Now, is that just kind of a pureed tomato?
This is what's considered crushed tomatoes.
Okay.
Okay, so very simple crushed tomatoes. I'm going to swirl this around. And we'll let that garlic and olive oil flavor start to infuse into that tomato. This is different from a marinara, which tends to cook for hours and hours and hours. This is a fresh version, so it doesn't have to cook more than about 2 or 3 minutes. So we'll get that on a high burner.
In a rush.
Right, and that's kind of the point, right? We don't. All of us don't have a ton of time. So a little bit of salt.
Okay.
And here's one of the key things about pasta that you need to know if you're going to cook it the traditional way. So this has been in salted boiling water for about 5 minutes. Okay. This will actually continue to cook in the sauce.
Oh,
okay, so you put that in the sauce, and we're going to let that swirl around for just a minute and cook in the sauce. And what that's going to do, it's going to start to absorb the sauce around it, right? As opposed to cooking your pasta separately from your sauce, putting your pasta in your bowl and then kind of drenching it. And you'll notice the difference of this when we plate is it looks very different from just a marinara pasta with a ton of sauce all over it.
Right.
Okay?
Now, I expect you all to do the fancy stuff at home, right? The tossing in the pan like that.
Right, so that'll stay for just a minute or 2. Well, you can do it. I mean, you just don't want to do it when you're dressed this nicely.
Right, exactly.
With mine, I can get stuff all over me. It doesn't matter.
Oh, man, I wouldn't keep it in the pan.
So you can use basil. You can use whatever fresh herb that you like. This is just a little bit of Italian parsley. Okay, we'll just swirl that around, and literally this pasta, for this particular, is done. Okay, and if you don't mind, I'm going to step right across over.
Yeah, go ahead. That's easy.
And then we're just going to put this right into a bowl, and it's easy to plate if you take it out a little bit of time. Kind of just swirl it. And while I'm finishing up this other one, y'all can go ahead and taste this one. So I'll put that right down there. And make sure you don't get any on. And there's some forks for you.
And that's a really easy seasoning too. You just basically did a little salt and
Yep.
that's about it.
A little bit of salt.
Perfect.
If you want to, you can grate a little bit of Parmesan
Oh.
cheese on there.
Do you mean-
turn that over. Yeah,
Can
grate
I
a little
offer
bit
you
of
all
Parmesan
some
cheese.
Parmesan?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Okay.
Now you're a
Here we
proper
go.
hostess.
Yes. Am I doing this right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So Parmesan obviously adds a salty texture that you get
There you go.
instead of just adding salt, but it also has cheese flavor.
Just like Olive Garden, offering Parmesan cheese. That sausage is already smelling awesome.
So the sausage is cooked on the bottom, and I just broke it up.
Trying to be good. Oh, that is so good.
And the key is making sure you season your water very well.
Very
So for like a gallon of water, you want to put like a 1/4 cup of salt. I know that seems like a lot, but a 1/4 cup of kosher salt. Your water should taste like the sea, because then the salt penetrates into the pasta as opposed to the outside of the pasta. Okay, so now we've got this sausage that is almost all the way cooked. We're going to go in with some Swiss chard. Other kinds of wintergreens you can use, kale, some other things. Swiss chard is nice. This looks like a lot of chard, but after it cooks down, it's going to shrink up substantially. Okay, so we add the chard, the olive oil, and the sausage is in here now. Okay, so now we're going to let this cook just a touch. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit of the pasta cooking water, which tastes like pasta. It also tastes like salt. That's going to actually help make the sauce, and it's also going to help wilt down the greens. So now we've got a seasoned pasta water as part of the base for the sauce. We're going to go in with a decent amount of cold, unsalted butter and fold that in. We're going to put just a little bit of crushed red pepper to spice it up a little bit more.
You guys like spicy stuff? Yeah? All right.
A little
good.
pinch of salt. You don't need that much salt because you've already got sausage, right? Sausage already carries salt content. Okay, and now, since that is cooked, we add the rigatoni, and we'll do the same thing. You're going to cook the pasta in the pan for just a little bit longer. Okay. So swirl that around. And what's going to happen is that water content is actually going to continue to absorb in the pasta and help form this sauce together along with the butter. So you're going to get this rich sauce of basically butter. See how that happens?
That's what I would do.
But
There we go.
it happens more than you care to see. So butter and salt. I'm going to add just a little bit more butter.
A little bit
And
more
then-
butter.
That's right. Julia
Never get too much
Julia
butter.
Childs and Jacques Pepin used to always say more. I mean, there's just butter, 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 and more butter.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. And you can see in the pan, right, you've got this little sauce that formed of the water and the butter. Okay, so just literally 15 more seconds. And we're going to distribute that just a little bit better.
This really is easy. I mean, I was thinking it was going to be
No.
rigatoni. It sounds like it's going to be complicated, but not so much.
It's not, and I'm going to step real
All
across
right,
here.
yeah.
All right, so again with a little bit of the greens here. And the great thing about this, when you use fresh ingredients like this, with greens and sausage, people say sausage is not healthy. It's not the fact of things like sausage and pasta not being healthy. It is, generally speaking, the amount
Yeah, Mom.
that we eat, right?
There you
So
go.
if you eat a moderate amount of these things, you're fine. And again,
All right.
super simple. Took probably a total of 15 minutes, so it's good for families on the go.
Awesome. Well, we are running out of time. We're going to toss to break. Mark, thank you so much.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate you being here and teaching us all. I hope you enjoy it. Keep eating during the break. We're going to take a quick break. Up next, more music from Steven Salewan. Keep it here on my KSBI.